Well, hello. How are you all doing? Welcome. You all graduating? Congratulations. Well, in a sense, you are. I know the feeling. Well, not yet. My daughter's a freshman in college, so I have a few more years to go. But I just went through the high school graduation, so you are actually graduating. And this is really an opportunity to kind of get you up to speed as to all the things that they have to do, right? So welcome to Commencement 101. My name is Scott Tierno. I'm the director of the Commencement and Special Events Office here at Vanderbilt. And I'd like to introduce my colleagues here. We have Natalie Figlio. She's the program coordinator in the office. Right. I always forget her title. No, just kidding. And this is Jane Morris. Jane is assistant director of Commencement and Special Events. So we're all going to do a little presentation here, give you as much information as we can, so you'll be totally overwhelmed, and by the time you leave here, scratch your head and say, I don't know what they talked about. No, I'm just kidding. Really today the goal is to give you some basic information to get you on the road, but we're here to answer questions as well. We'll go through the presentation that we have set up here. We're going to kind of swap out with different topics as we go through it. After that, you'll have a chance to ask questions. We have 2 microphones set up in the aisles, so you'll be able to come up and line up and pepper us as many questions as you can think of. We'll do our best to try and answer them. We will try not to just say, go to the website, because that's really not fair. We want to give you as much information today as we can. But we do have a website. We'll talk about that in a little bit. With that, let me, you can see let's see if it works. Does it work? Oh, there it is. There's our mug shots. So just so you know who we are, you can throw darts or tomatoes at me if you want. That's all good. No, nonetheless. So that's us, and we're really happy to be here and happy that you're here with us as well. First thing I want to kind of say, has anybody been to the commencement here at Vanderbilt? Okay, so a few of you have. Returners, good. So you can answer all the questions for us then, right? No, I guess not. Okay. So commencement is a huge event, as you probably were well aware. We're squeezing a lot of people into a small box. And it may not seem small when you go on Alumni Lawn right now, but when you have 25,000 people roaming around Alumni Lawn for commencement, it's crazy. This is my first year. I've been here at Vanderbilt for 7 months. I had a chance to go through commencement in May, of course. And I was just totally amazed by the experience and by really everything that happens and the pomp and circumstance that really exists. It's so energetic. You may not think it to be that way because really, many people say, well, commencement is really kind of boring and puts you to sleep and stuff like that, and you have to listen to speakers. The good thing is you don't, but at any rate, you do get a chance to really get the excitement of being out there, as long as it's not too hot. And when I came here, my first wish that I had when I actually interviewed was, I will make sure it will be a beautiful day. It'll be in the low 70s, partly cloudy, dry, not humid, no rain, and I got my wish. So I can't live up to this year. I can't guarantee it. I'll do my best again for y'all, but I can't guarantee that, unfortunately. With that, commencement really consists of 3 days of activities. We call it commencement week, even though it's not a full week. But with your travel here, you may come for the full week and visit us, which we hope you do. We have Wednesday, May 6th is the first start of commencement and commencement activities. We have Ingram open houses, Ingram Common open houses, receptions. We have the party, and we'll talk more about that. On Thursday, we have the Nichols Chancellor Award medalist and speaker. And that's really an amazing event. We'll talk about what that is and who's been involved there in that program previously. We have faculty seminars on the afternoon of Thursday, the 7th of May. And then on Friday, the 8th, we have the commencement ceremony, which is at 9 a.m. And the amazing thing is, I don't know how many times this has happened. When we've had it outdoors, we literally time it, and you can hold me to this. We time it to actually start exactly at 9 o'clock when the bell tolls on the tower. So if it doesn't happen, it's one of them. Sorry, it wasn't me, I promise. No, it's an amazing orchestrated event, and I hope you get a chance to come and be here with all your family and friends as well. So with that, we're going to kind of go into the detail about each day. First off, speaking is going to be Jane, and Janie's going to talk about what the party is and all that and all the other activities.
So yeah, I'm Jane. I've coordinated the party for about the last 5 years. It's happened since 2002, I think. So it's going on its, 18th year? So that's pretty exciting. The party, having been through 2 college graduations and one on the way myself personally, I haven't gotten this privilege to have a party at any of the other universities that I've been to, and what I consider this is 2 things. It's sort of the transition. So you're busy, you're packing bags, you're getting to Vanderbilt to see your child or your son or daughter, and it's like getting off that train of busy life, all of a sudden you're here and the reality hits you that, oh wow, they're graduating. And you're still in a good mood. You haven't been around each other yet to start fighting. So everybody's happy. Everybody's thrilled to be here. You can't wait to see your son or daughter. And it's a collective blast. It is an absolute wonderful, beautiful, fun night. It is sort of like the grand opening of commencement. So you come in through, lights and music, and you go visit the Ingram Commons open houses where your son or daughter began this journey here at Vanderbilt, and go visit their, the faculty heads of houses and the dorms where they started out. And then you can stop at one of the food trucks, grab a little bite to eat, and then head over to the party where it's 3 hours of dancing, of fun, of students. It's sort of like them saying, here's our house, welcome to it, we're going to have a party tonight. And it's all ages, so it's like little bitty to grandma, granddad. You've got music, you've got photo booths, you've got food, you've got drink, you've got gourmet bags that you can pre-order, you've got bottles of wine or champagne that you may pre-order. There's plenty of beverages if you're not you don't imbibe. And you can have a whole lot of fun without it. So it's just a really great night. Tickets are $25 to get in. And then additional, this year, the tables are 100 to reserve. So we have a limited amount of tables. It's all over in the Peabody and Commons area. And the main field where the big 40-foot stage is, we've got about 120 tables to reserve, and those are 10 toppers. So you can put 10 folks. You can share a table with another family or with your child's group of friends or whatever. And then we do have additional seating up on the field and in and around the whole event. But if you do want to designate a place that this is going to be our station, our family, then we've got that there for you. And it's just really it's a great way to get things kicked off for the weekend. So, yeah, that's a little bit about the party.
It's a whole lot of fun. I have not seen an event like this on a campus in my career. I've been working in higher ed for about 30 years, and it's just an amazing experience that they all put on, and we all put on as a university for you as a family and your guests and your students, of course. So, Jane, really, you can't really highlight it enough. I think if you can get here for Wednesday night, please do. You'll really enjoy it. So, next day, on the next day, which is the 7th, that is the Nichols Chancellor Award ceremony. It's also the speaker. We bring in a speaker every year, and you can see some of the people. You may have noticed some of these people: Condoleezza Rice, Laura Bush. We've had last year we had Venus Williams here, and all these individuals. They literally here to speak to anybody. It's open to the public. It's open to you as the guest. We want everybody to come and really experience the speaker. We do not have a speaker announced yet. We will announce that individual in November, and that's when a lot of information will come out as well. More details to follow, as they say. But really, it's just it's the highest non-academic honor we have at the university is giving this award to the speaker that we bring in. And really, the premise of the award is based on really how this individual has impacted the world in the 21st century, and from a humanitarian perspective as well. So that's really it's such a great thing that we do in recognizing these individuals, but also it's a great opportunity to really hear their thoughts and their ideas as well. So we hope you can make that event also. Right.
So the faculty seminars, it is truly your chance to be a student for the day. So you get to go in, sit in, just like your student would, and there's these university courses that we will highlight, and each of the university courses each year, They focus on not your everyday topics. A lot of it's current events, some topics in the past were the history and science of brewing or the ethics of artificial intelligence. So it's really your chance to kind of go in, sit, and just hear about some of the things that your student possibly was learning this past year, or something that maybe they learned a couple years ago, because we rotate them throughout, whether it's a current course or a previous course. And it's really interesting. It's in Wilson Hall, and we have 2 different times, and there's normally 3, sometimes 4 different courses that you can go and listen to. So that's also on Thursday afternoon after the speaker.
So, and you can say that you actually went to Vanderbilt, so that's great, right? You won't get a degree unless you already have one from here, and if you do, that's great too. But they're really great speech, great opportunities to really hear faculty speak firsthand, and just hearing these amazing individuals that are at our campus. All right, so next up is really talking about Commencement Day. So I gave you a little bit of rundown earlier, but Commencement Day, it starts at 9 a.m., as I said. We have undergraduates stay on alumni lawn, so you all show up at before 9. We actually say about an hour before. We ask people to show up, or not, if not more. The lawn does fill.
7 o'clock.
All right, they're saying 7. I was there.
It's too late.
I was there at 6, so I didn't, But you can get there at 6 if you really want to. I don't know if you want to get up that early, but it's really worth coming early. Okay, yes. Excuse me. So, as part of the program, the graduate and professional students will depart for their diploma ceremonies around 10:20 that morning. And to be honest, it really does run like clockwork. So, any families of parents and professional and graduate students here at all? No? Okay. So, if you know anybody, let them know. They get to leave and go to another ceremony. The ceremony's on alumni lawn. Programs, we have hand fans. We'll have water hydration stations. One of the important things that university is really working towards is being sustainable, on having full sustainability where we're at 0 consumption of sustainable products. Is that correct? Jane, you can speak on that a little bit. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I had the privilege of being on the Chancellor's Zero Waste Committee last year. And our goal is by 2030 to have all the waste products diverted to other streams instead of the garbage. And to that end, the Zero Waste Initiative, campus dining has stopped selling any plastic bottles. I'm sure you may or may not be aware of this. And at Commencement, my goal last year when I was interim director was to reduce our, we were buying like 18,000 bottles of plastic water. And people were only drinking part of them or getting them one for the whole family and leaving them on the ground, and it was huge waste. So my goal last year was to cut it by 20%. We did do that. Nobody went dehydrated on us that I'm aware of, unless they were drinking too hard the night before. But I don't think there were many of those either. So what we do is set up hydration stations, and we just encourage all the guests this year to bring your own water bottle. We'll have some water bottles provided, some cups that are recyclable, but that is the goal.
And so in these hydration stations, we'll have a bunch of those around, but if you want to bring your own water bottle, you can do that. We really encourage that, so you don't have to worry about, are you going to find one on campus in the bookstore or something like that. Or you could do that as well, of course. The other thing about commencement, so commencement morning is really, it seems like it's a long experience, especially if you're undergraduate students. You're there for about 3 hours. You're there around noon. But the good thing is we have a celebration right afterwards. And this is another amazing event that Vanderbilt does that I have not seen at other schools. We do an event called Strawberries and Champagne, and that's really down by the law school near A&S. A&S is in the library lawn. Engineering Peabody is in the Bishop's Commons area. We also have the bookstore there. They'll be there, have a couple tents set up, so if you want to buy some last-minute items before taking off for the weekend. And flowers. We'll also have flowers available after the ceremony for you to be able to have for your son or daughter to get. The cool thing about Strawberries and Champagne is that if you've ever seen these, you haven't seen strawberries, I don't think. If you have, I mean, these strawberries that they have here are humongous. and they're just amazing. And don't worry, any leftover strawberries don't go to waste. We don't throw them out. They actually go to the local zoo. This is something I learned about as well. They go to the local zoo for the elephants. The elephants love strawberries. Who knew elephants love strawberries? Anybody know that? I don't think so. I had no idea. So that was really cool that we do that, and that it's really just an amazing event. So the next thing we have that day is after strawberries and champagne, you also can get food on campus. Dining Services holds a buffet lunch. You have to pre-register for it. It's really a great great price. It's not like you're getting gouged or anything like that. You're not going to pay like $70 a person. I don't think. No. Well, okay, maybe you do. I don't know. It includes everything. So they're just telling me. Again, I'm learning these details as I go along sometimes as well. But it's really an amazing spread that they put out there, and definitely if you have a chance, take advantage of it. It makes it a lot easier with reservations, but you do need to reserve ahead of time nonetheless. And the other thing I want to talk about is really that's the day of activities on Commencement Day. The other thing is regarding photography and video. A lot of people kind of wonder about, can I get pictures of my son or daughter graduating, what it's going to be like and stuff like that. We have an actual professional photographer that is on campus that day. They're taking 3 pictures. They're taking a still shot before they get on the stage, a shot when they're on stage, and I think a shot when they get off the stage as well. And also, they have this really cool kind of service that they provide through our photographer as well. When your son and daughter logs in, then they can pre-register on the Grad Images site that we have, and we'll have information about that online. But when they actually log in, they'll be able to not only see that picture, but they have really scary, actually, facial recognition technology, where they can actually they can pair up all the photos that have your son or daughter in them and put it into one presentation. So you'll be able to your son or daughter will be able to log in. They can also give you, I think, guest access as well. So if you want to buy a bunch of photos to plaster up in your house, say, this is my kid, they graduated, you can. But it's also the more still photos, the more candid photos that are out there, they're taking those as well, and you'll have a chance to be able to pick those also. So that's a new technology they implemented this past year. My understanding it's really, really cool, and students really like it as well. For video, we have a full video production service that works for us as well. They actually, not only do they pull together the actual live activities and do a live stream, so if you can't afford to bring all your guests with you, if you have like 50 people want to come to graduation, I'm not going to bring all 50 of you with me. You can send them online as well, and they can watch it there too. So we stream the ceremony live, so they're just like being there, and they can actually sit in their bathrobe and watch the show while they're at it too. It's even better at times. I think being here is also exciting as well. But if you want, you'll also be able to purchase a video download of the actual ceremony too. A couple weeks after the ceremony is over. It's a nice compilation of the events and everything that's happened. It's just a great souvenir to have, and everything's going digital in the cloud now, so it's a perfect way to have a keepsake as well. Oh, this is something I didn't even know about. Boy, I'm learning things. I'm the director, I thought, but they're teaching me a lot still. If you pre-register, you can actually get it that weekend. So that's a really cool thing. There's also there's snippets. They also do video snippets that you can purchase also.
So you can, when you pre-register and you pre-order, not only do you get the full ceremony, but you will get the specific snippet of your child crossing the stage with their name being called out. And what they will do in the editing process is, because we have so many names and people are going very fast, they will tone down and turn off the audio of the person before and after. So all you hear is your student's name as they're walking across the stage the entire time. You're not going to hear the name behind or the name before. So that way you have a nice, clean video clip of your student walking across the stage getting their diploma.
And then that goes on Facebook for all your family to see, all your friends to see. It's available. It's for yours to distribute any way you want. I'm sure your son or daughter will love that. So.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about rain. And we can talk a little bit more about sunshine, too, before we go there. We do have some perimeter inside viewing for commencement, so if somebody can't stand the heat or whatever, we have 3 locations around the field where folks can go inside. And one of them is where you're sitting right now. So you can just come in and watch the whole thing in the comfort of a building with air conditioning.
We have misting stations too, don't we?
Yeah.
Tents.
Yep, we do have misting stations. But in the event of rain, we'll decide the day before, most likely, but we won't make a final decision until that morning. We'll alert all of our guests and all the students via the Vanderbilt app, which we'll talk about down the road. And what it basically amounts to is if there's lightning 8 miles within the area, they'll shut us down. If there is winds above a certain, speed, they'll shut us down. It's all just for our safety. And if it's just a light little mist, no big deal. We have ponchos, but we ask that you do not bring umbrellas. So there is that. If we do get moved inside, unfortunately, it's in an unair-conditioned building, Memorial Gym. You get to experience the magic. It's pretty amazing. Like, you can't breathe. And it's very, very, very humid. Typically, it's very hot. And you've got 20,000 people trying to cram into a little gym. So it's not a lot of fun, honestly, to get inside. Once you get in, it breaks up pretty quick because, again, all the professional graduates go away to their various locations, and what's left inside the gym are the undergraduates, that is to say, you guys, and you all watching your son or daughter graduate. In the ceremony, we build 2 stages. We build this outdoor area at alumni, and we build it inside so that either way, we're not last minute throwing chairs in there. It's already set and ready to go. So there is that. As far as the other events go, the party is rain or shine, unless, of course, the same criteria affects this, high winds or lightning. And then, of course, I'm going backwards in time, but the open houses are all inside. And so is the seminar speaker, the Nichols Chancellor Award medalist. So there's no rain plan there.
So just a couple key dates for you all. In April, the biggest deadline that you'll need to remind your student of is the cap and gown or regalia deadline. We will be constantly reminding them to order their cap and gown so it gets delivered in time, but it sometimes helps when you also remind them. They can always order it after the deadline that we post. There will just be extra charges for shipping in order to get it here on time. So just remember, the longer they wait, the more expensive it's going to be. Also, in April will be the last day to order announcements. So if you want to send out announcements about your graduating, you'll need to order those by about mid-April. Again, these specific dates will be listed and confirmed this fall. And also in April is the last day if you want to make a private dining reservation. In May, we're getting really close. So it's just a couple. Last day for the on-campus buffet. So if you want to reserve a spot, if they haven't already filled up all of their time slots for the buffet lunch, it's very early May. It's normally like the 1st or the 2nd of May, as well as the deadline to reserve accommodations at the Ingram Commons. So if you don't want to book a hotel, you're more than welcome to stay at Hank Ingram. It's one of the newer dorms here on campus, and it's about, I don't even, off the top of my head, I think it's $100 bucks. $110 a night, but it's a 2 beds, so you're not paying per person, you're paying per room. So if there's 2 of you and you want to split a room, that's totally fine. You just pay the same $110. But it's a really great and convenient way. You're already on campus, you've got the Wi-Fi, and you're only going to be in the rooms to sleep anyway because there's so many activities to be doing. So that's a really great option. And the deadline for that is normally that first week of May as well. And then discounted tickets to the party. If you purchase your tickets to the party online, they are $25, and then if you wait until the day of to purchase them at the door, they're $30. And then June, It's about early to mid-June is the last chance you have to order that digital download video that Scott was talking about. So if you don't pre-register and you decide after the fact you want to order it and you want to get that snippet of your child or you want to get the full graduation ceremony, you need to make sure you order it by early to mid-June.
All right, so communication-wise, at least with some of the major pieces of getting information or ways to get information, the website is always an important location. We do keep that up to date on a regular basis. It's really where we're going to post a lot of the details as we move forward. In addition to that, we're also going to have the Vandy app. And so we have a smartphone app for the university. How many of you have that app? I would assume. I mean, I know I have my daughter's app for her college, and not that I'm trying to stalk her or anything like that, but I think it's really important to have that. But really, this Vandy app has everything on it. It has information about weather, has information about a lot of different things that are on campus currently. But we'll have a tile on there, which will be at the top for commencement. It'll be about a month out that we'll have that posted on there. It's not on there right now, of course, because that's a current image. But it's really, that's a great place, great way to get all your information as well. We'll have information about how to actually, where parking is. We'll have maps. We'll have information about transportation, all the different information about the schedule. It's really, hopefully a helpful thing for, as long as you have a smartphone. If you have a flip phone, you're out of luck. I'm sorry. I don't hope you don't all have flip phones at this point. I mean, you may. My mother-in-law does, which is crazy. But actually, she did get an iPhone 2 weeks ago, so I got to back up on that. Nonetheless, it's really a great resource for you, and the website as well. And they'll mirror each other with all the information. Do keep up on it if you could. One of the things I also wanted to highlight also is cap and gown. There is a charge for cap and gown. It's around $65, I think, or something like that. $68. So it might be a good Christmas present, potentially, or at least add it in the Christmas present pile. We've had a number of students have kind of said, I have no money by the time they have to order it, which is like March or April. It's just a thought, maybe to consider doing. Just throw it in the basket. Put it in stocking stuffer or something like that. Not the cap and gown, of course, because that doesn't get shipped out till later, but, at any rate. We hope, but nonetheless, if you have any questions, this is a great place to go, but inevitably, you're going to have other questions. You can get in contact with us, and we'll tell you about how to do that in a minute. Let's see. So let me just recap what we talked about. So all events are for the entire family and graduates. So please don't stay home. Please come. Come visit. I'm sure you'll be here. And then there are no official university events after Friday. So the only thing that happens after Friday is a student has to move out. And I think move out has to be by Saturday at 1 p.m. So make sure to keep that in mind as well. It's really a whirlwind of activity, I realize, for the week. But that's definitely the culmination. But after Friday's commencement and strawberries and champagne, nothing else is planned for commencement specifically. No tickets are required for commencement. It's an open event. The only thing really you have to get tickets for, as Janie had mentioned, was for the party. And lastly, hotels. If you haven't already gone out there and looked at hotels, which I got a feeling you guys are like kind of like the early birds to get the worm. You're all in the room looking for this information. If you haven't already started looking at hotels, I would do it as soon as possible. And again, the week is the week of May 6th, 7th, and 8th, and commencement is on the 8th of May. All right?
Right.
I think, let's see. All right, you're up.
Yep. So other areas, too, you might want to look for, just kind of dropping back to the hotels. Some nearby areas are Brentwood, Bellevue, Green Hills. Maybe the airport is better than Madison, North Nashville. You definitely will see a price drop here on West End in the general downtown Nashville area. I will just tell you that some of the prices, compete with Las Vegas. And it's just, they're all doing it now. So we really encourage you to just kind of branch out and look around if that, is better for you and your family. So ways we communicate, of course, we've got a stagnant website right now. So if you went and looked at it Right now, you'd see that, you might see some old, archives, but we're not actively moving yet. We will do that. We populate it. We'll spend the next 2 months getting it ready for you with all current information so that you'll be able to go to one page and order everything. So it'll be through different vendors on that page, but pretty much you'll be able to get everything you need at this website. There's the app we've talked about a number of times. We send out e-newsletters. You will sign up through Parents and Family, or you are already signed up by proxy through your child, son or daughter, graduate. I always call them child. I'm sorry, I know they're adults, but you'll be signed up by proxy through the registrar's office, and we'll send you out these information cards. We have similar information cards out here in the back, so pick up one on the way out. We're also going to send you a commencement brochure, and that's just a front and a back that really has everything you need to know to get here, to get you out of your chair and get you to campus and get you out of here safely, with a map on the back. And so be looking for that in your mailbox this spring or next spring. Our email address is on here. Our phone number is there. You can email or call us personally, and that is that. And the other thing I wanted to encourage you to, I've watched this a lot of years, and many students say, we had no idea where to line up for commencement. And the fact is they do. They just never go to the website. And that's what Scott was saying, don't say go to the website, but I'm telling you, it's there. And we don't want to overwhelm them with emails. They get so many at this time of year, and we don't have a rehearsal. So be sure if they start, complaining and mom and dad, it's like, you're not going to have a rehearsal, just go to the website. And it'll have where their school lines up, and it's really pretty simple. You just get in line alphabetically and stand there and wait till you're called in. It's a beautiful, beautiful procession. You don't want to miss it. Again, having been to many commencements, it's almost kind of mysterious in a way, in an Ivy League sort of way. I mean, you just see these students follow in the academic regalia and the pomp and circumstance, and it's overwhelming. I mean, it's very, very meaningful, and it's just a collective happy that rarely happens on a day when you're with 22,000 people. I mean, it's a really great day, so I encourage you to come.
And the postcard that Jane's talking about looks like this. I just left some on the table outside. It's just a quick reference for you, some information from me, just to help you get prepared and start moving forward. But feel free to grab one for yourself on the way out. It's on the back table outside. There's also our business cards are out there too. So any one of us that you like listening to, just grab our card, and we'll be happy to, well, maybe me, Anyway, any one of us will be happy to answer questions for you. But with that, we can still answer questions now. So as I said, there's microphones in the aisle if you want. Be happy to answer your questions. Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little bit about logistics for people with disabilities?
Sure. You want to talk?
Sure. Yeah, we have wheelchairs for rent. Everybody know where the clock tower is, Kirkland Hall, the big place. There's an esplanade there, and that's typically wheelchair pickup. If we're going to be inside or on senior day, we have wheelchair pickup out about first base where the baseball field is. There's a tent set up there. So we do make provisions for folks needing wheelchairs. We also have parking. Pardon? No charge for the wheelchairs. There is if you lose it, but
Don't lose it.
so don't lose it. Bring them back. We have shuttles at all the different parking garages around, so you can catch a shuttle and ride over. And then we have, of course, a area for folks with disabilities that's designated. It's a hard floor. It's I don't know how many square feet. It's large. It's enough to probably accommodate, call it 20, 30 wheelchairs. And there's room for your guest to sit with a person who sits in a regular chair there. Or if you don't want to sit with a group of wheelchairs, you can move the wheelchair to your row wherever you've designated a seat, pull the chair down, tuck it under another chair, and have your guests there with you, regular. Of course, we have the indoor seating for folks who have, exposure to the elements that can't handle it. And is there anything that I'm missing? Did you have a specific question, ma'am?
No,
Does that cover it? Okay. We do get a lot of questions about folks who are geriatric, and I mean, walking is walking. It is a very ambulatory experience. I'm just going to tell you that. Even if you park and catch a shuttle, you still got to walk a hair. And there's no really convenient place. Like, you're not going to go, oh, if we just get to park here, we'll be closer. No, you won't. They're all equidistant from this central area of campus where commencement's held. So plan to walk, dress comfortably, wear layers. Again, like Scott said, you know, Miracle on I don't know, 42nd Street was like in the spring. That never has happened. I mean, for the most part, you know, you got little bugs and gnats, and the sun's starting to come up, and it's real cool till about 8:30. And then you start kind of getting uncomfortable. So I encourage you to wear layers. Yes, sir.
Just back to the wheelchairs, I don't, maybe you already said, but do you have to reserve those ahead of time?
You do. You do.
And how do you do that through the website?
There you go. I'm not going to say it. Yes, ma'am.
There's a whole section on the website that talks about accessibility, that you can actually contact them to reserve those items.
Scott, what about folks with hearing issues? Do we have a sign interpreter, or can you talk a little bit about that?
So maybe you can?
So on the accessibility page on our website, there's actually an entire form that you can fill out. So if you need a wheelchair, or if you just need a drop-off pass, so maybe your guest doesn't necessarily need a wheelchair, but they don't want to have to walk a long distance, they can drop off at the same area where the wheelchairs are, and that way you can just loop around and you can go park and hop on a shuttle, or park and walk back. It's just the shortest, as Janie said, there's not really a short distance, but it's the shortest distance. But there's also space for you to put in any other accessibility needs that you would have. So whether that's hearing, just anything like that. And so we will make sure that we have someone there to sign, or everything is closed captioned. So all of our screens will have closed captioning on it as well. And then especially with the students, they work directly with the student access services to make sure if we have a graduate that needs assistance, they get that help as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we getting parking passes? Is there a cost for parking?
No, there's no cost for parking at all. In fact, parking's pretty, they're pretty chill through the whole period.
Yeah, just don't park in
That's
like a fire zone or something like that. But yeah, pretty much parking is wide open on campus for that week.
Yes, ma'am.
When do tickets go on sale for the party and if we reserve the table?
November. Somebody over here in the back?
Ma'am in the back?
You said the website opens in November.
Yep.
You gave the deadlines for April and May.
Mm-hmm.
When can you start signing up for anything and start signing up for
November. So as soon as the website launches, all of those options become live. So purchasing party tickets, reserving a room in Hank Ingram, ordering regalia, anything that you can purchase, you can go ahead and start purchasing it as soon as our website goes live.
And the plan is to launch the website the week of Thanksgiving. So when your son and daughter are home, you have a chance to be able to talk to them and go over it with them as well.
Sir?
I heard a reference to Senior Day. What is that?
So it's actually, Senior Day is basically the Nichols Chancellor Medalist presentation, as well as the speaker that comes in. That may be rebranded, just to give you a heads up. So if you don't see Senior Day listed somewhere, it's still the same thing. It's just a different
Thursday.
branding to be more, it's on Thursday, and it's also to be more inclusive of all our graduates, including professional and graduate students.
And that's, again, typically where we have kind of inspirational, talks and so forth. Yes, ma'am.
When you said you can reserve a table for $100 at the party, is that in addition to also having to purchase tickets?
Good question. Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am.
Do the graduates split off at all into the different schools? Are there any individual?
Yes. Not only do they line up in the individual schools, they sit with their individual schools. So arts and science, nursing, law, all of those are separate.
But do they
And-
go to another area at all for a smaller graduation ceremony?
Again, great question. The undergraduates, every single undergraduate, all 1,700 of them, will cross the stage there on alumni to get their actual degree with their name on it.
Yeah.
If you have a graduate professional, which evidently no one has in here, you will go to another site and get that degree at the other building. The only reason everybody comes together is just as a Vanderbilt family and protocol to come together as a graduating class, plural. All the classes convene on the lawn, and then the graduate professionals go away to do their own thing. But the undergrads are all left there on the field.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, our registrar is amazing, where every student has their diploma at the actual ceremony, as well as in the program itself, it lists their actual honors that they've received. It's unbelievable. Most campuses would never do this. As a matter of fact, most campuses have gone away from that. So the fact that Vanderbilt continues that tradition, because it's really valuing the importance of the diploma and the degree that they receive. That has very much a lot of value academically, but also as a graduate. They are definitely supposed to be getting it. Whereas some schools would just say, well, you finish your degree in 3 months if you have like 6 credits left, you can still walk across the stage. Not at Vanderbilt. No.
No.
Done. When you're done, you're done.
And to that end, I mean, we don't know who's graduating until 7 days before. And when the teachers get their last grades in. So depending upon where your child is on their GPA will determine whether or not they graduate. I mean, Vanderbilt is, as Scott said,
Sometimes even
it's cut and dry.
sometimes by like Tuesday before is
Yeah.
when we actually get the final list, because they're also talking to students that may have not made the grade, unfortunately. And that's a tough thing for our faculty to have to go through, of course, as well as for the students and families. It makes it challenging, of course, with planning, I realize, but it's something that the university takes very seriously, and there's a reason for that. It's academic integrity, and the university definitely really holds that to a gold standard.
And along those lines, too, because it's an honor to just graduate from Vanderbilt, period, paragraph, we don't have adornment for our regalia. It's been a university policy for a long time that we don't decorate our hats like University of Chicago, some others that it's tradition to, build skyscrapers and stuff. We don't have any of that. It's everybody's really very uniform. The regalia is beautiful, and there are a few designations that we'll accept, a few academic.
There are some designations we do accept with regard to cords for
Right.
academic honors, primarily. And we do have some, I think, some students have sashes, some groups, but very few. I think it's like only 2 or 3 groups that are allowed for that, to do that. But it's the solemnity of the actual event is taken very seriously. But it is a celebration as well, so we want people to celebrate too.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Probably don't know who the commencement speaker is yet, do you?
No.
Well-
We should know. We'll know in November. That's my goal. Hope.
Well, the senior day speaker or the commencement speaker?
Oh, sorry. Commencement. So, thank you. Yeah. So we don't actually have a commencement day speaker. The chancellor speaks at commencement day only. On senior day, or excuse me, the day before commencement. Let me put it that way because we're still rebranding. And maybe we'll call it like Graduates Day. That event is actually the only speaker that we have. That's our commencement quote unquote speaker. Good question. Yes.
Yeah, my daughter's a sophomore
Mhm.
here on campus. Is she able to stay in her dorms through commencement, or do I have
If she'll volunteer with us, please.
whatever?
We'll keep
I
her.
don't have to drive from Florida to pick her up.
Great, awesome. We'll keep her as long as you want.
Yeah, she wants to volunteer, just call us. We'll take her. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So when's the best time for them to move out? Because looks like you're moving out and you're graduating, you have to ceremony at the same time. So when is the best time?
I guess it depends on how close you live, really. I mean, if you live close by, but I would think the students would want to stay as long as they could, right?
I mean, I think too, if parents have been here for 3 days and they've had their strawberries and champagne and everybody's really tired and all that, I I'd say, why don't you have your stuff ready to go 3 or 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, let's go home. Or let's move on, you know. Or you can spend the night and eat out one more time and spend another, you know, night down in Nashville. There's plenty to do. And check out the next day. There's not a best time. It's just really what you want, what you need.
Just need to be out of here by 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Saturday. Mm-hmm.
And that's for the Ingram housing as well, can you brought us on that one?
Yes,
Is that it? For parents?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Well,
it's up to,
it-
what, 2 nights of,
It's, well, 3 nights, so Wednesday,
nights.
Thursday, Friday night.
thank you.
Yeah.
So yes, Saturday at 1.
Now remember, Ingram Common, it is a residence hall room. So it's a residence hall bed with a very thin mattress. 'Cause
He slept there.
I slept in it last year because I didn't want to
It's
drive all
not
the way.
dirty, it's just
No, they're clean.
a
But
dorm.
It's a dorm, and you have, you don't have your own bathroom, so on each floor, there will be a women's restroom and a men's restroom with showers, so it is community style.
They
But
provide linens.
they do provide linens, and you have Wi-Fi, and again, it's
You're
going to
right
be a
here.
lot cheaper than any hotel within walking distance, and you're on campus. And as Janie mentioned about the party, between the Ingram Commons open houses and the actual start of the party on Wednesday, there will be food trucks out to kind of help between that as well as leading into the party. So if you're staying at the Ingram Commons and you've already gone to the open house, you're right there. You just step out of your room, grab some food at the food truck, go back in, and then when it's time to come out for the party, you're right there. So it's very convenient.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we talked about parking for the graduation day.
Mhm.
But since we are doing things each day, there going to be, again, about parking. How will that affect the other 2 days?
It's open, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's open, so you can park anywhere. The students are gone, basically. The faculty and staff are, you know, classes are done. So that week, we really have free reign of the campus in that respect. Now, granted, you're talking about, you know, 15,000 cars, something like that, so good luck. No, just kidding, just kidding. Any other questions? Wow, you guys, you did good. Okay, so you get an A. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Again, if you have any more questions, our contact information is out on the table. Feel free to give us a call, contact us, email us. We're here to help. We want to make sure your experience is as good as your son and daughter's. All right. Have a great year. See you next spring.